yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, so we don't want to wear sandals where I'm at the moment. It's very beautiful and peaceful. But there's, like, it's a desert, right? And whenever we get to a desert, there's prickly bits. So, yeah. Anyways, haven't made a video in a few days. Thought I'd put this one out there just to say hi again, let you know that I'm still alive and not a cheeseburger. Good news, right? Anyways, probably shouldn't have said that. No, it's not funny at all. What else? Did try to go to the city, and we didn't do the city too well. We did the city well for a little bit, right? It was good, but what did we do right? Well, we enjoyed the coffee and the internet. The internet where I'm at the moment's expensive. It's a little bit more expensive than the previous place I was at. So for cell phone. So I made good advantage. Took a good advantage. Made good advantage. Whatever of that situation while I had it. Just downloading updates and stuff. And then I downloaded Ableton Live just to get into some, I don't know, mess around with some sound production, right? Why not? And yeah, and I got some stuff done. I converted some money and I spoiled myself with a pizza. Vegetarian, of course. We just do vegetarian these days. Did we lose myself? What the hell's wrong with you? Subject loss. Anyways, it's always subject loss. I stayed in a parking lot, and that was okay too. That was great. The people were great. Cats everywhere. Love the cats, actually. And leaving though, I pulled out a parking lot, and I've got the step installed on the bottom of the van, right? And it's a little bit obviously then lower than the rest of the undercarriage of the vehicle. So I'm pulling out of this uneven parking lot space. I kind of brushed the step on the way out, and then that kind of like did some damage. But good news is I sort of repaired it. And then I had an electrical problem too. So the step went, and then I had an electrical problem. And that turns out basically what ended up happening was I overstrained the leisure battery. I wore down too much, right? So yeah, like I'm parked in the city, right, in a parking lot. But the problem was that it wasn't getting enough sunlight, so the solar wasn't working as effective as it should be. And so anyways, yeah, overdrawn on that leisure battery. And then it clued into me after an hour of trying to figure out what the hell's going on and checking fuses that, you know, I asked ChatGPT, hey, wait a second, is there some kind of safety protocol in place where like if it's too low the leisure battery in terms of power that it can no longer be charged by the engine? And sure enough, ChatGPT is like, yep. And so then I've got this external battery pack and an extension lead for the external power source of the van for when you pull into like an electrical site. Anyways, so I put the two and two together, and I was able to preliminarily charge that leisure battery and get it up just enough so where the engine could start, the main battery for the engine could start charging it again while the car's running. Whew, you know, just we've made a lot of concessions already. To make more concessions at this stage, I just don't know. If I mean, I can do it, right? But do I want to do it is the question. So I'm glad that's all sorted. And then in the heat of the moment, right, this, at a gas station, this beautiful kitten comes out of nowhere. And this kitten is just all love. And this is after I was like cursing and saying to God, I can't do this anymore. I've got like no space left for putting up with bullshit. Anyways, so in the heat of the moment, this little kitten comes out of nowhere, and it's just on me like a fat kid on a Smartie, right? Very lovely. And it was so aggressive with its love that I actually had to like stop fuming for a moment and give it my attention, right? So I did appreciate God sending that in to my experience, big time. But I was still very much preoccupied with the problem at hand because it was 11 p.m., right? It's getting late and I'm at a gas station. I feel really bad. I had to run away from the kitten. The kitten was so aggressive. It wanted to come into my van. It wanted to move in with me, okay? And I nearly turned around when I left and thought, like, I'm gonna go get this kitten, right? Maybe I'll go back and get the kitten, eh? The problem is, though, is I'm traveling. I'm in a situation where I need to travel constantly. So in that circumstance, I don't know what the rules are with taking a pet. I mean, I could smuggle a kitten. For so long as it remains a kitten, I'm sure anyone would just go ahead and let that kitten in because it's so cute, right? But anyways, I love cats. They are very nice creatures. And I was very appreciative to have that kitten come into my experience to cheer me up when it did. Anyways, so now I'm in a really beautiful place. I'm still gonna wear sandals because I like sandals, but you know, you've got these prickly things everywhere. Look at this prickly thing. Oh my goodness, can you see this thing? Oh my goodness, and they're literally everywhere. But it's so quiet and it's lovely. It's really nice. I'm gonna go have a tea with honey. We put honey in the tea and it's lovely. Yeah, the city, eh? I try to get back into the city life and without noise canceling headphones, it is freaking like impossible. It's just too much noise. Far out. Honestly, I went into a supermarket too, and the supermarket PA system, right? Absolutely like maddening to the extent where it's almost like deliberately done. It's loud, super loud, unnecessarily loud. And then after they've done the paging, right, of whatever it is that they've got to tell the staff, okay? The person stops talking, and instead of just hanging up, there's this beep that goes, duh, 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 and it's just louder. It's louder than the bloody whatever the hell the clerk was saying. Like a subway station, and I'm thinking to myself, what is the point of that other than to just agitate people? Like, what is the point? It was so loud I had to put my fingers in my ears, okay? And to think, you know, I look around as I'm watching this and everybody is getting exposed to this day in, day out, and they think nothing of it, right? But from me being like an alien, I suppose, going into this environment, I can see, I just stepped on a prickly bit again. I can see how something like that happens all the time. You know, everybody else has kind of tuned it out, but they actually haven't, you know, and so they just kind of, it gets embedded into the system, that constant pressure. And think it's normal, right? So they don't say anything about it, but you guys are all like, you know, alchemizing, probably not alchemizing, you're just packing it on, right? Anyways, that's something I can give you out of this video. Other than that, I love cats, evidently. Anyways, I'll talk to you later.